Good morning, Modern Steaders. It's a nice brisk 26 degrees out this morning. It didn't get as cold as they were calling for. It was supposed to get down to 18 last night. Then we're in for a heat wave the next few days, and I think like a week and a half further out. Come on in, ladies. Did you sleep good? Moose, why are you on to New York City? Huh? Huh? So that barred rock right there, she had lost all of her feathers during a molt, and now they're all coming back, and she's looking good. Is one of the red rangers that molted. Oh, I think she's right there, and her feathers are all coming back. So I'm glad to see that the molted chickens, its feathers are coming back just in time for the cold weather. I've been trying to figure out what we need to do for chainsaws over at the new property. We're gonna have lots of trees that are gonna need cutting, whether they're in trails or blowdowns and stuff, or if we get a snowstorm or an ice storm, there's gonna be trees that are coming down. I have an older Husqvarna 345 that needs a tune-up, so we're gonna do work to that today. And then I'm trying to decide what I should be buying from a next saw. Leave it in the comments down below. Should I get a Husqvarna, Steel, which one, a battery operated or gas powered? Good morning, Figaro. Do you have any grain?
Will's turn. Your turn. Good girl. Yours, Daddy. Give me some food. Good girl.
Come on in, ladies. Most of the snow, you used to it now? Huh? Come on. I got you some fresh hay in the feeder. I say, oh, fresh hay? We're going. Nothing better for breakfast than fresh hay. Damn, bring around the Rosie. If you hear a bunch of jumping around, that's the goats in their stall, right to the left there. I was just thinking, I've had this Husqvarna 345 chainsaw for almost 17 years now. 16, 17 years. Tools are one of those things, if you buy them and you take care of them, they pay for themselves. I've only had to, I haven't had to do much work to this one. I replaced the sprocket in here that the chain rides on. I had a busted fuel line into the fuel tank, and that's it. For the last year or so, this thing's been running kind of rough, and I believe it's the carburetor. So I ordered a new one. Let's change it out today and see what that does. This is our carburetor right here. I have to take off the choke, this kill switch cable, our throttle linkage. I'm gonna disconnect it in here. So let's get it torn apart. This is the first time I've replaced the carburetor on a chainsaw. We have our throttle rod right there. We gotta get this linkage out. In order to do that, we have a spring holding it in right here. Get that spring undone. There we go. I should be able to take this linkage out. go. And then this whole piece should slide right out. Boom. So this right here is what our throttle hits to open up the carburetor. Right here I got my fuel line. I'll leave that on for now. I need to disconnect our kill switch right here and right here. There we go. We'll tuck it back here on the side so that way it stays out of our way. Right here's our choke. We can't get to that yet, so we are gonna have to take off our fuel line. Bam. And then this sits in some rubber grommets right here that hold the carburetor in place. Get that side off, and then we can pull it and get this side. I think these are 4mm. Yep. One, two. All that comes out. Here's our little carburetor. I gotta take out our on-off switch right here. Pop that, boom. That's a little plastic I went online and I ordered what's supposed to be the right carburetor kit. Looks like we got new fuel line, gasket. Let me do this so we don't lose anything. Got our gasket, a fuel line, some more fuel line. I'm going to say that's some kind of filter, a couple of clamps, spark plug, and then we have our carburetor. This is the direction it's going to go in. This is our on-off right there for our choke. Then our throttle connection, fuel line, and these are our adjustments for our high and our low idle. Alright, let's get our housing put back on. First we got to put our on-off arm back on, boom. Get our bolts started. Got our new gasket in between the housing and the carburetor. Before I put it in right here, there's a little spring. That spring you undo and you put it around the linkage for the throttle linkage, and that's what holds the throttle linkage in that little groove. I'm going to hand tighten in my bolts for now because the housing that they screw into the intake manifold is plastic. That seems to be fitting better now. Stick our fuel line back on so I don't have gas all over the place. There we go. Then the other end of our disconnect switch goes into this plastic right here. It's kind of a weird setup. I'll bring you in and show you in a second. So it slides into a little plastic groove. Let me get that, remove it again. So there's a little plastic groove right there, and when you hit this off, get that out of the way, what it does is it's in that groove, so when you hit it off, focus, it hits this metal right there, and that's what makes the contact and kills it. So we'll put that back in. You're looking for a metal tab to push that into, which there isn't a metal tab, it's just a plastic groove that it slides into. There we go. So boom, boom, on, off, choke, gas. Now let's do our throttle. I just had to put my little metal spring clasp back around the arm and then push it in place. That'll help hold the linkage from popping out from vibration. Alright, we got our air filter we need to put back on. It just pops in place, sits nicely. Now we're ready to give it a start. Well, let's put our cover on and see if it runs. I'll check the spark plug. It's a new spark plug, but let's see how it looks before we put the cover back on. That looks good. The real question will be if we have to make any adjustments to the carburetor. Let's see if the screwdriver is going to work if we need to. Yeah, that'll work. Get our cover on. Now comes the true test. We gotta take her outside and see if she runs any better, and if we gotta make any adjustments. I'm not gonna get rid of this carburetor. I'll probably go online and see if I can find a carburetor rebuild kit for it, because it's most likely just the gaskets and a few things in here have got gummed up from the fuel that we have nowadays with ethanol in it. I do need to get some non-ethanol fuel for my small engines. Choke it, turn it on. Let's see. I think I need to adjust the low idle. The chain's still spinning in low idle. So if I'm looking up and reading, it was saying that you don't want your chain to spin. You want it right at the point where it's about to spin on low idle, which means when it's just running. And then when you give it the throttle, it should be good. I'm just curious to see how it starts after shutting it off quickly. We don't want it spinning like that when it's just idling. So let's take this cover off. We'll make a few adjustments outside. You got to make your adjustments while the chainsaw's running, and I don't want to be running this in the workshop. Let's take the cover off because I won't be able to see my adjustment very well. It looks like you probably have to have, or you should have, a specialty tool by Husqvarna to make the adjustment. I think our little screwdriver will work, but only if I can see in there. Yeah, okay. let's get it running and check it out. The most adjustment I had to get the low idle so the chain wouldn't spin is what we just had right there. It was like stop and spin, stop and spin. I went all the way to the left and it bottomed out, so I couldn't dial it in anymore. If I went to the right, it really started freewheeling. So this is where we're gonna have to call it for that adjustment. But it's running good, starts good. We just need to get some non-ethanol fuel and some two-stroke oil and make sure that's all we use in our small engines. I'm still kicking around the idea of getting another saw. I'd love to hear your feedback on what would be a good saw to have. This one's on the smaller side, so I'm looking for one a little bit bigger. This is a 45cc. That's not too bad. I don't know if I want to keep, I guess, with the 45, if I want to go to a 50. I don't think I want to go to a 60cc, but let me know what your recommendations are. We just bought a property that's over 500 acres and we got a lot of wood on it. So there's going to be a lot of things we'll be doing over there. We're getting it logged, but it'd be nice to get a sawmill someday. We should be able to cut our own firewood when trees fall down. We're going to have to clean them up. A small chainsaw like this is nice to have, but what's the other one we should have on the homestead? I'm not sure, and if we should go with Husqvarna or Steel. I know talking with the local dealers, saws are a little bit harder to get. The 50s are almost out of stock is what I was told. Like the 550 XP is hard to find right now with everything going on. So leave your recommendations down below. I'd love to hear them. I'm gonna order a new chain and bar for this one. All right, need to run out and get some fuel, oil. So we are lucky enough to have a few gas stations around that sell ethanol gas. They haven't always, but in the last year or so, 2 of them have started selling non-ethanol gas. Let me rephrase that. Non-ethanol gas. And that's what we need for our small engines, the chainsaw and such. So, need to run to town and pick up a few things for the chainsaw. So that way we're ready to do some cutting when we need to. Look at this foolish cat. Wonder what he's hunting. He must see a bird or something. Figaro, you goof. He's always hunting. He's always on patrol. Luckily, our chainsaw is just about out of fuel anyways. Some new non-ethanol and get that carburetor sitting full with the good gas. Fuel dispensers, but I think this might be the Strat for fueling up little things like this. There we go. Look at that. It's like your own little gas station. Perfect. Ooh, I like that for fueling up chainsaws and such. Put the choke in, give it another start. I did run all the gas out of it before I fueled it up, so I just didn't show that part. So that's got new non-ethanol gas in it. It's been run. Now it's good for next time we go to the land, we can bring it with us. Figaro. This is some nice weather.
Yeah, it feels like spring.
Sure does. And it's supposed to be in the 60s tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
Yes. How many? 9. 6. Moose, what's your guess? 8? All right.
Spider webs. Oh yeah, I was gonna bring a thing of sweet and sour webs. When I come back. 4 eggs.
4 eggs.
And something weird.
A broken one. You ladies slacking. You're all starting to go through the malt. It'll be interesting to see how many we get from Olivia's then. We'll probably get 8.
Oh, Abby, don't you be busy?
She's getting too big for you.
Yeah.
The snow melts and now we got 2 escaped chickens.
I think there's 3 actually.
Oh yeah, there is 3. Did you get them?
Wonder.
There you go. How many eggs?
8.
8? That's what I said.
Looks like we got 5.
They're all slacking.
Yep.
Oh, I'm liking this running out to the greenhouse every time we need some produce. We need some carrots tonight for dinner, and nothing is more convenient than coming out here and going, oh, hey, look, I need some carrots. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Them things are beautiful. It's gonna be a big one, I betcha. Oh my. That's a couple of them grown together. We'll give that to the chickens. 4, 5. Yeah, I'll get this one too. It's a baby. The chickens really seem to love the carrot tops. You ladies ready for some more carrot tops? There you go. Looks like they're getting ready for bed. They'll be there in the morning. Doorknob.
All door handles. We are having something super exciting for supper tonight. Okay, it's really not. So I'm just gonna use the leftover meatloaf from the other night, and then I'm gonna try to make gravy. I think I'm getting pretty good at thickening up stuff, so I guess today or tonight will be the true test. I might have to call an Al. I hope I don't, because I just want to do it myself. So I want to make gravy, have it over mashed potatoes, and have leftover meatloaf and carrots. easy but good meal. A confession about my little peeler here. I've lost it a couple times. It's a pretty good peeler, but it's small, so I accidentally got it in my compost bucket, but I found it. And then, because it's small, I lost it in my drawer of all my gadgets. So I found it again. So, I don't think it wants me to use it, because it keeps hiding.
We were young, the day I fell into the sun. Something down inside of me was telling me, and I knew you were the one. And it was time for me to step into the light. I asked you for your name, and when you smiled at me, I knew that I was right. Everything was right.
I'm just trying to use my knife like they do on the cooking shows. I guess I need to watch more because I'm not very good at it. But I can only get better if I keep trying.
Your life is just like a summer breeze. Take my hand. Walk.
Just crunch quietly. I'm trying to make a video. That's not quiet. Alright, I'm gonna get these on the stove because carrots take a little bit longer than potatoes. You won't want potatoes. You won't want a piece of potato. No. What do you got in your mouth? What do you got hanging off your mouth? You gotta lick your lips or something.
Known a love so steady, even gold won't turn your tide. We flow together like an ocean, every low and every high. And I would have you anyway, dear, any way your heart could bear. Even if you had to leave me, I'd always be waiting here. Even when we are apart, I will keep you in my heart, and I wouldn't change a thing, even if I were the king.
Alright, here goes nothing. I'm gonna try to do this gravy without Al's help. So I put in 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna whisk in the flour, and I'm just gonna do it slowly.
Look at that, it's getting thicker.
Ooh, I was thinking it wasn't gonna.
It's looking like gravy.
Hold on to hope, don't let go.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, I love me some homemade gravy, and this gravy was delicious. On top of meatloaf and mashed potatoes. You can't get any better than that. Are you a gravy fan or not? And if so, what is your favorite kind of gravy? Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. If you guys want to help us out, the best way to support us is to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You're a huge blessing to us and our homestead. We'll see you right back here in the next video at Lumnah Acres.